So, what should these Browns do about Baker, man?
What they need to do about Baker is come to the realization that they've already realized that Baker Mayfield has limitations. And those limitations are going to hinder their progress going forward. Everything is dressed up around Baker Mayfield. The defense, the running game, tight ends, receiving core. They have what they need, except they don't have the right chef in the kitchen in Baker Mayfield. So, to me, the trial period is over in terms of perception, in terms of my mentality of how I view you. It's over. Like, if you just buy a new toy, right? And then you start playing with it and you realize, damn, this toy don't fly high. Damn, this toy don't fly long. First thing you do is go back to the manual. Say, did I do this right? Did I hook this thing up right? Does A go to B to C like this? Then you start playing with it again and you finally realize, hey, man, this toy just got its limits. And guess what my kids do usually when that happens? Go grab another toy. And welcome to the NFL. That stands for not for long. How long am I going to read the manual, keep playing with this toy that has its limitations? Baker, you've had your chance. You've been on the roller coaster ride since hello. It's time for me to at least get off and try another ride. It's time to move on.
That's fair. And all I would say about him not speaking to the media, I've been there before when it does feel like the walls are caving in and the sky's falling. Just say what you said on Monday. Just say it on Sunday.
There it is.
And take all those questions on Sunday, just fall on the sword and move on. But what the crossroads that they're at is what the new NFL looks like since the rookie wage scale, right? Mm-hmm. You get a rookie quarterback. You're not paying him as much. You're not paying him the 50, 60 million guaranteed, so you're not strapped on that contract. Yes, Mark Sanchez. It's your boy. So what you do is you build the roster around him, and they did a great job of building that roster. Offensive line, running backs, receivers, the whole thing. Now, not all of them worked, but some of them did, and enough of them worked for them to have some success, some measurable success. They went to the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. So now they're at this point where everybody gets, after those 4 or 5 years, okay, now what? The roster's there. We started to make a little run with this guy. Do we continue or cut bait and move on? But they already exercised his fifth-year option. So he's going to be there next year for 18 mil, which is still low, right? Yep. So now what? I don't know if Baker – what should the Browns do about Baker? Well, you got to ride it out this year. You got no choice. Next year, are you going to be able to deal him with an $18 million contract hit for somebody else?
That part.
I don't know.
That part.
But you don't have to give him 30 like his contemporaries, like the Josh Allens and Lamar Jacksons of the world. He's not going to get that contract. So what do? I guess my only thing is look at their schedule, right? It's Ravens. Does Lamar Jackson play? I don't know. But maybe we can get by with Case Keenum this week, give Baker another week to rest, then they get their bye week, and then go at it again with the Browns, or excuse me, with the Ravens, and play against Lamar Jackson and bring Baker back, right? And then regardless of all that, if you're going to play injured, go play injured.
Ball out.
I appreciate the toughness. I appreciate the grit.
Yeah.
It shows you're committed. It shows you're willing to put your body on the line. But that can't be an excuse from anybody, right? Like, you can't use that as an excuse after the game if it doesn't go well. That's like the person the night before the exam, like, oh, man, yeah, I didn't really study. And then get a bad grade and like, oh, yeah, well, I didn't study. Because it just kind of absolves you of any responsibility. So
I'm with you. I'm just a little bit more heightened on your take, Sanchez. I think that the Browns bench him temporarily. Baker Mayfield, at this point, he's hurting himself. We know that. And he's also hurting the team. So if you're the Cleveland Browns, just bench Baker Mayfield temporarily. You can get through games in the regular season without Baker Mayfield, but you're going to need Baker Mayfield in the playoffs. Right now, the way Baker Mayfield played against the Lions, I look at it and I say, there's nothing that Baker did that Case Keenum couldn't do. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that Baker did that Case Keenum wouldn't do. And so go ahead and put Case Keenum in there, because Case Keenum's not floating the ball over Jarvis Landry's head by 5 feet so it lands into an easy interception there in the first quarter. Case Keenum would not do that. Now, Baker made about 3 or 4 throws, and I'm like, whoa, those were first-round number one overall pick throws. But he made about 3 mistakes where I was like, whoa. That should never happen. I'd rather wash my hands with that right now. Let Case Keenum get me through the Ravens game. Maybe Case Keenum plays both Ravens games and he splits them. Bench Baker Mayfield temporarily and go from there. Go ahead.
But you got to put it on the injury. I wouldn't say bench. Because if you say bench publicly, it's just like a black eye. Like, it just looks bad. The optics are bad.
Well, he needs a black eye. Somebody needs to slap him. Like, seriously, like, here's the thing. Why bench him? Because he's hurt? When did he get hurt? He's been hurt the whole season?
Hurt all year.
All year, right? Since hello, right?
Well,
no.
It was Arizona.
Yeah, it was heightened in Arizona.
I know.
Got worse.
Arizona. Now, y'all want to see this dude before Arizona? Because that ain't nothing that I'm loving. First game, more interceptions than touchdowns. Second game, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Third game, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Fourth game, nothing. Like, he was healthy. And then Acho tells me, and I respect Acho, but y'all got to think through stuff. I'm not going to make a move that's not going to give me a new answer. It's not going to give me a new answer to bench him now and say, come back when you're ready. When you were ready, you weren't great enough. And that's our problem. We have the first-ranked rushing attack. We have the 4th-ranked defense. You came to a great situation with great defense and great running game. And what happens?
Sometimes you have to win in spite of the quarterback. So what do you do? Put the clamps on him, baby.
Right. You're basically saying, look, get on this boat. You're not the captain, but welcome to our yacht, right? And let's just sail away. Baker is getting in the way of them sailing away. So benching him, I just want to hear an explanation that's going to give me a revelation to who Baker Mayfield is by benching him.
Just feels a little better.
Well, here's how I look at it. And we can't make a correlation between Baker Mayfield and Peyton Manning, but we can have some sort of remembrance. Yeah. Peyton got benched the year the Broncos went on to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He was playing terribly.
That old man.
Worse than Baker Mayfield, statistically. He was playing bad. He gets benched, take a breather. Brock Osweiler, go in there. Peyton, we're going to need you for the Super Bowl run. Okay. Mind you, they won the Super Bowl because of their defense.
But did they say benched?
You stuck
Peyton
on that.
had some injuries.
See, what did I say?
He's right. He's right.
What injuries?
He was throwing off to the side.
The neck was already healed up as bad as it was.
It was like, oh, it's got some lingering effects. I'm just saying, the optics of how you handle that, if that's the route you're going, are very, very important with a volatile media
Because they didn't bench him against the Broncos. They said it was a shoulder injury coming off that Cardinals game, and Baker didn't get benched. Either way, you sit him.
You could do
so
that again.
I'm in relation to Mark and sit him.
I get it.
The reason, Sal, is we've seen it before. We saw it with Peyton Manning. Baker's not Peyton Manning. Y'all don't stop down.
No, we ain't doing that.
We've seen the correlation of take a step back, take a breather. Yeah. The other thing where Sanchez makes a good point, Sal, is I'm on this bandwagon.
Okay.
You're already locked in for $18 million with Baker next year.
Already.
They say you don't cry over spilled milk. Why? Because it's already happened. It's something that cannot be changed. You can't trade Baker Mayfield. Ain't nobody buying him for $18 million. So you got him. Can we make the most good out of Baker Mayfield as it stands right now?
And you're not going to have OBJ. You're not going to have Njoku. Both of those contracts off the books. You're going to have a little space. You're going to have basically what you had the last 4 years to play around with other contracts, build up the roster, and give him the support he needs.
Oh, they're going to have $32 million in cap space. What do you have here, Marcellus? Nick Chubb's contract is up. Wyatt Taylor's contract is up. Denzel Ward's contract's up. Oh, there goes that $32 million. Oh, we going to pay Baker Mayfield how much to do what? Here's my problem. I just let them die on the field. That's what I do because I'm in a contract negotiation. Everyone's in a contract negotiation every time you step on that field. As you always say, Acho, you're not playing for just your team when the camera's on. You're playing for the entire NFL to watch and audition. Right now, I'm in a contract negotiation with you, and I hate to let this cat out the bag to people, but organizations want the most from you and give you the least. Unless you dictate terms, they got to give you the most. But if you're Baker Mayfield right now, you got you one. You got you a fish on the hook if you're the Cleveland Browns. Wait a minute. Hometown discount this dude. We can lowball him. We can limit his options by perception. We can't let him live and say, well, I was just mulligan my 4th year because of injury. That's not the case. He wasn't playing well before the injury.
What are you presenting is my thing. Because I need a better solution, right? I was in Cleveland with bad quarterbacks to what we're doing with Baker. It can't just be get rid of Baker. Get rid of Baker.
You would not get rid of him. You let him die on the field. Here's the line, die on the vine.
With the organization, if I'm siding with the organization saying I'm a stone-cold, cold-blooded businessman and you're a commodity to me and I'm going to pay you the least amount, I play him, and he's going to eventually cancel himself.
The resume is going to give you enough ammunition to either support paying him or get rid of him or lower his value.
They're in the driver's seat.
Yeah,
they don't have to do really anything.
But either way, they're stuck with Baker next year at $18 million, which means Baker Mayfield is going to start for another, 24 games?
Not for sure. That's not that. Okay, bring somebody else in to compete.
Yeah, he got a challenger
free
coming.
Agents, whatever.
But here's what I think we have to, because I had this question with, it might have been a producer or a colleague.
That's from a team standpoint.
Yeah.
Are you bringing somebody in to compete with them, or are you bringing somebody in for optics? Ain't nobody going in there and taking Baker Mayfield's job if he's making $18 million. Here's what I mean by that.
What did the Eagles do? Taysom Hill was making 17 on the bench.
What did the Eagles do with Joe Flacco? They brought him in to compete with Jalen Hurts. He was never truly in to compete with
that's
Jalen
not
Hurts.
legitimate competition. I'm saying with that $18 million tag, you really have to say as an organization that is peanuts to where we could have been. We could be paying him 35.
Thank you.
So that number is the number we agreed on before this past season. That was the deadline. So, okay, fine. We'll deal with that. But whoever comes in here has a legitimate shot to play. Whether you're a five-star guy or a walk-on off the street, you get a real opportunity to play if you're the Cleveland Browns and you're playing it straight.
There's two problems with that. The first problem is, you know, and I know, and you know, that sounds great, but it rarely happens in the National Football League. I can honestly say with full conviction, the only time it's happened, in my opinion, Russell Wilson, Matt Flynn. That is the only time at the quarterback position I can say with conviction the last decade.
That's the situation you'd have to let it play out.
That a real starter, Matt Flynn, who was making real money, got beat out by a guy who was making no money with no expectation.
Ryan Tannehill took Mariota's job. We saw Taysom Hill making $17 million on the bench, being a hybrid player, and just getting an extension yesterday. It's not about taking the job. It's talking about the books.
But him and Jameis competed.
Yeah. We're talking about on the books.
To me, they competed. If Taysom Hill was in a
No. Taysom Hill was making $17 million when Drew Brees was there, and they were paying him $17 million.
I'm not talking money. I'm talking who was going to sell.
We are talking money. We said the number.
Taysom Hill still got his role carved out on that team.
Well, Baker Mayfield can have a role. I'm talking money. You can't. Well, let's stay in one conversation. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish. You can be talking about $18 million. I can't let that go. And then you know what? The big picture you lose sight of, as he's saying. We could be paying this dude $40 million. Right. We got off on this. So now you bring in a bona fide contender or starter and say, Baker Mayfield, you supposed to be so good? Let's go. We can't talk about unique circumstances because this is unique. A #1 draft pick overall who's still on the bubble in year 4. Like, usually you either know we got to pay the guy or this dude's a bust, and he's gone. Baker Mayfield is making this a unique situation, so we're going to give it unique circumstances.
They will avoid the Jared Goff situation in L.A. where they pay the guy and then go, oh, no. That's not what we wanted. Okay, find somebody else to deal him to, take some draft picks. Boom, now we got Stafford. Okay, we're back on track. They would be doing that if they go into this went into this next year and paid him.
I do not think this character that you all are submitting exists. I don't think there is this bona fide guy that can compete with Baker Mayfield that can take. They just don't. They're 26 starting caliber talent-wise quarterbacks in the NFL.
We don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson.
I ain't know Matthew Stafford's going to be a Ram.
But you said to compete. Deshaun is taking Baker's job.
Oh, yeah, that's
Deshaun's not competing with Baker Mayfield.
Right.
If Deshaun goes to Cleveland,
he's taking
it. Mr. Trubisky's a backup right now in Buffalo learning something from Josh Allen. We don't know.
You don't know.
You don't think Mr. Trubisky can go out there and contend with Baker Mayfield? You give him the #1 rushing attack and he made the playoffs 2 or 3 years.
Bake's a competitive sucker now.
That might help.
I do not see you start. Well, it's a couple things. I don't see you benching an $18 million Baker Mayfield to start a mediocre quarterback like a Tyrod Taylor, like a Taylor Heineke, like a Ryan Fitzpatrick. My first problem. The second problem, there are certain players in the National Football League that are not backups.
Like who?
I think of Cam Newton. I think my guy Vince Young. There are certain players in the National Football League whose just personality and aura does not suggest and submit that they should ever be a backup. We haven't seen Cam Newton be a successful backup. We didn't really see my dog VY be a successful backup.
Are we saying Baker's one of those guys?
Are you not?
Well, when you have a big persona.
And the Browns, you know what the Browns should say about that? That's not my problem. That's like a Baker problem. You don't want to be employed? Okay. Cam Newton may have went that route in his mind before the vaccination, whatever it may be. You get to a realization like nobody's calling. And like everybody sound good when the phone ringing. Like Baker Mayfield, commercial.
You got options.
Yeah, you got options. You're as faithful as them options. When them options go away, we're going to see what Baker Mayfield talk about if he shows up to the presser.